Gizaagi'igonan Oshkii Giizhik singers, Anishinaabe, Minowiijiiwag. We're happy to be here. We have been busy doing some reclaiming work. And we made a CD, which in a perfect world would be here now. But as you know, it'll probably arrive at my driveway about 3 p.m. So if you want to go there and meet us, I'm kidding. I'll get them to you at some point. If you want a copy, it will be available to you. Find any one of these ladies, me, email me, call me, text me, we'll get you a copy. And it's called Anishinaabe niminowiijiiwag. Is he over there? No? All right. And this project was funded by First Peoples Fund. They are a philanthropic organization that funds Indigenous products and projects. With a commitment to empower Native artists to creatively work with other Indigenous artists in dance, music, and performing arts mediums, and we chose to focus on women's songs in the language. If anyone knows who I am, this has been my MO since 1988. I've started teaching at the Ojibwe school in '92, and at that time I think Niijikwewag was also there doing work, and we worked together to get the kids singing in different kinds of songs in the language. And since then, we had Anishinaabe Youth Chorus that sang down at the deck with the orchestra. We had this group in other incarnations singing different songs, but we decided this project was going to focus on some older songs. And we were able to record them because here on campus we have a recording studio. So if you are someone who has interest in doing this kind of work, 2 things about the studio I want you to know. One, we have some old recordings called the Densmore Collection, as well as some other old recordings that have old language from about 100 years ago. There is also an archive of new language recordings that you could do some of this transcription, like Chado was talking about earlier. We're always making new recordings, either here or at the OOG building, or there are lots of recordings out there that we could do this language learning together with. Odas Studios, we are right over there, behind the game room, behind the moccasin game room. We have space to do audio recordings as well as video recordings. And we are excited to help people with those projects. We now have staff, one of them, David, right here, you've seen holding the camera in various places. And we have other staff that are on campus that know how to work all that stuff. All right. That was plenty of time to read all that. I didn't say it, did I? Okay. So this CD, Anishinaabe niminowiijiiwag, has been made possible in part by First Peoples Fund and the Oda Studios, of course, here at Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College, and also the Indigenous Peoples Task Force was our fiscal sponsor. So a little bit about who we are. Oshkii Giizhik singers, we've been around for, I don't know how long, since 2006, I think is what we're saying. We started as a Fond du Lac area women singing and hand drumming group or some clunky name like that, and now we're Oshkii Giizhik. And a little bit of history about this project then. Those Densmore recordings were collected 1907 to about 1912, and those recordings were housed in the Library of Congress, and they still are on wax cylinders in the Library of Congress. Over the years, different copies had been made on vinyl, on cassette, and I received some copies, but I didn't feel ready to try to know what those songs were, because I had heard that there were Minowiijiiwag songs in those recordings, and I did not feel as if I should be just randomly listening to those songs. So I didn't, until one day, about 7 years ago, I was handed a jump drive from a guy out on the East Coast who had students listening and working with those songs, and said, here's the Densmore recordings. And I thought, if they're working on the East Coast with our language and songs, and I got handed this kind of randomly, I better get with the program and start doing this work. So I did that with the help of many people to make that happen, and we now have the digital copies of the Densmore recordings here on campus. And we started learning the women's songs in the collection this fall. So some of the singers have been working on some of these songs for maybe 2 months, 6 weeks. Some people just learned 2 weeks ago. Some people just learned a song this morning. Because that's how we roll with Oshkii Giizhik singers. As Anishinaabe, we always are ready to sing. We're ready to take up the work. We're ready to put our best selves forward. Even when sometimes it's a little nervous making. And we're doing our best to learn by singing these songs, and we hope to encourage other people to maybe not be so shy about learning the songs or trying to learn the language this way. So I need to say that any mistakes in the PowerPoint, in the language, that's my fault, because I was the one making the PowerPoint. And any mistakes that we make up here, we know that you are going to take pity on us and recognize that we're learning. And this is, for us, a fun way to be learning the songs. The songs are women's songs that are collected from that group of songs. And some of them, I'll play one little piece of it so you can hear what we're working with. Okay. This first song that we're going to sing is a song that was made, however, more recently, I think maybe 6 years ago, in this very spot. Oshkii Giizhik Singers has a gathering every fall, and we invite elder women singers and hand drummers to come and work with us. And they made this song. And every time I sing this song, I'm reminded of how those women worked together so graciously. Because there were speakers and students of the language who had different ways of saying things. So when it came to how do we say this in a song, they worked together in such a beautiful way to make sure everyone felt included and validated in the process. So every time I sing this song, I'm reminded of those grandmother teachings, because that's how we learn the best, is when we feel valued and included. So, and Rosie's here. Rosie helped with this song, and I'm trying to think. Doreen Day helped with this song. Sharon Day, Coco Jones. We had the star lineup that year, and they helped make this song.
Gizaagi'igonan Gimaamaanan Aki, Gizaagi'igonan Gimaamaanan Aki, Gizaagi'igonan Gimaamaanan Aki, Gizaagi'igonan Gimaamaanan
English.